Hello everyone, I welcome all you in this session. In this session, we are going to discuss about the essay "The Politics of Failure," which was composed by the author S.V. Srinivas. So, first of all, we will discuss about the author Dr. S.V. Srinivas. So, Dr. S.V. Srinivas passed his MA from Hyderabad University in 1989 and MPhil in 1991. He earned his PhD in 1997 again from Hyderabad University. Presently, he is a senior fellow at CSCS Center for the Study of Cultures and Society, which is an interdisciplinary research and teaching institute. He is the coordinator of CID Asia. The, the full forms of CID Asia is Culture, Industries and Diversity in Asia Research Program. He is interested in productions and conceptions of industrially produced, produced culture. Now we will discuss most of important writings which was written during his career. His books Megastar is being published by Oxford University Press in 2009. He has written a good number of articles which have been published in prestigious journals and magazines like Journals of Tropical Geography, Journals of Moving Images, Postscript, Seminar, Inter-Asia Culture Studies, Deep Focus, Frameworks, etc. His essay Film Culture, Politics and Industry has been highly appreciated by one and all. This essay is based on research conducted for the CFIA's postdoctoral project titled Democracy and Spectatorship in India, Telugu Popular Cinema and Hong Kong Action Film. Now we will discuss about the introduction of the essay. S.A. Srinivas has analyzed the large number of failures of the students who come from backward families. Such students are not to be blamed, but the blame lies with the system of education, especially higher education. This system caters to the needs of the privileged students. The marginalized students suffer because of the inequality in education, particularly in English courses and departments. The assist blames the colonial administrations as well the government of Free India for this. The government policies are such as don't encourage the backward students and they are bound to fail. The students from backward families suffer at the hands of the teachers as well as their fellow students. They are unable to follow the texts and are reduced to be objects of ridicule. The textbooks go above their heads and they can't make their head or tail of them. No help comes to them from any quarter and they fail in their efforts. English education was introduced in India during the colonial period to produce a small class of people who would educate the masses in the vernacular. Only the academic and bureaucratic elite was benefited by this. New education policy of 1986 also didn't help the disadvantaged students. Only those who went to costly public schools were the real beneficiaries. Selection to elite institutions was made on the basis of entrance tests conducted at the national level. The disadvantaged tech students couldn't be admitted and they were blamed for their lack of competence or lack of interest. Even the constitutional guarantee of reservations was not of much help. The upper caste teachers and the administration were hostile, hence quota positions remains unoccupied because qualified and candidates are not available. The legitimate demands of the backward students are ignored. No attempt is made to find a workable solution to their problems. Change must come from within the system and from the efforts of students. Now we will discuss about the detailed summary of the essay. The essay The Politics of Failure is a part of a longer essay titled The Anatomy of a White Elephant Notes on the Functioning of English Department India by Sri Vidya Natarajan, Nigel Joseph and S.V. Srinivas. This long essay was published in the book Subject to Change Teaching Literature in the 90s, edited by Susi Tharu. The English departments of allied institutions in India exclude and marginalize the students of backward families. Such students hardly get entry in such departments of English. There is a discrepancy or difference between two sets of students who should be treated at work with each other. There is a high failure rate among students from the reserved categories. They were either drop out or fail, and this problem may be located in the teaching of English. In the colonial and post-colonial India, this state of affairs continues even in post-independence era. Elitism is fostered even now at the expense of the primary education of the large sections of the populace. The purpose of introducing English education in India during colonial period was to create some intermediaries who in turn would educate the masses in the vernacular. In the colonial and the post-colonial India, the value of English had not diminished. However, it is still beyond the reach of a large proportion of the total population. Even the new education policy of 1986 and the establishment of Navodaya school aimed at creating a rural elite. The English language is available mainly to the students who attended expensive public schools. The students who got education in government schools sought employment because of their poor condition. Higher education was limited to those who had minimum prescribed. Students who secured a minimum of 50% marks at the BA level were admitted to MA level. Moreover, the entrance tests held at the national level eliminated the students of backward families. The disadvantaged students were blamed for lack of competence and lack of interest. The upper caste teachers and the administration were either indifferent or hostile to such students. The textbooks were difficult for them to understand and the classroom methods were uncognized. Reserved quota positions remain unoccupied. It is said that qualified candidates are not available. Thus, the universities and their bureaucratic support system remain under the control of mainly upper caste elite. Successful students prosper at the expense of dropouts. They achieve excellence and merits and turn the dropouts and failure as not interested or lacking in interest. No solution to this problem seems in sight. Change must come from within the systems and from the efforts of students who register authorizations, pedagogies, and also from the teachers and administrators who should register their own will to power. So here the author describes what are the values of English and what were the impacts of English education in India. And what the purpose of introducing English education in India? There are so many reasons to produce the impact of English education in India. Thank you.